February 2016, the Minister of Finance dropped a bombshell on the South African beverage industry when he introduced the sugar tax. He announced that a tax on sugar-sweetened beverages would be introduced in April 2017. Just 4 days after CCBA was created, on July 8, 2016, a draft policy was published by the National Treasury proposing a tax rate of 2 cents 29 per gram of sugar, representing a 20 to 25% price increase at retail level. While the Coca-Cola system was at work to influence the outcome and had initiated a number of interventions to reduce obesity, such as reformulation, introducing smaller pack size, and promoting low and no sugar products more widely, co-founding the healthy food options with the Department of Health and other industry players, as well as creating a meaningful voice through the Beverage Association of South Africa, the advocates of the tax had won the argument, with great financial risk for the system, the beverage industry, and the South African economy. At the onset, we were ill-funded and lacked a confident narrative to turn the tides. How many kilojoules were we really responsible for? What about all other sugary products? Why were we being targeted? What would be the impact of this tax? How could we fight back? With just over 1 month to respond to government and the National Treasury, CCBA and the Coca-Cola Company rallied together in a most cohesive partnership to address the greatest risk our system faced head-on. With no time to waste, Doug Jackson galvanized the system to establish a high-impact, multifaceted response team. Within a week, the team from across the Coca-Cola system got to work around the 4 key streams of strategic insights, stakeholder engagement, communications, and legal. McKinsey was hired to support the Strategic Insight workstream and prepare a fact-based, hard-hitting submission. We embarked on a heavy PR campaign in the media, armed with insights into the job impact on the industry. This made everyone take notice, including the National Treasury. In October, we met with both the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Health, opening the door for robust debates on the objectives of the tax and its unintended consequences on the economy. We engineered key interactions, made our case privately and publicly, and finally made a counter-proposal with commitments to reduce sugar level by 14% through reformulation, well above the impact expected from the tax and more than doubling the expected impact on reducing obesity levels. We worked on plans to mitigate the impact of the tax, and we launched a reformulation workstream, which is now a core part of the fight against further punitive taxes. Rebalancing the dialogue, developing a sound alternative, and engaging with key decision makers and influencers became the system's central focus. While all of this was going on, we never lost sight of the fact that there was a real issue at the heart of the debate. Obesity prevalence is a complex issue, and whether we like it or not, soft drinks have become the lighting fuse in the debate on how to reverse this global crisis. So, why are we where we are as a system, not only in South Africa but around the world? Why is this going to be an issue for most countries where we operate? Why should we care about obesity when we represent a minimal fraction of kilojoules consumed? Why has taxes on sugar-sweetened beverages become increasingly popular? The following video captures the essence of the obesity challenge we face, the economic argument against the tax, and the collaborative approach we have been pushing for.
Government were absolutely 100% committed to a tax. Sugar was bad for you, sugar was going to kill you, game over. And they hadn't heard the other side of the debate. Then they heard about a jobs debate, they heard about a complexity debate. If we had that tax enacted, the system would be almost destroyed.
We're not looking to escape regulation. We're not looking to slip one by consumers, but we really do care.
The obesity crisis is a global one and not just unique to South Africa. That being said, if you look at South Africa, at 27%, South Africa has the highest rate of obesity in sub-Saharan Africa, and 40% of women are obese. Obesity is a definite risk factor for diabetes, for high blood pressure, for cardiovascular diseases, and we know that in South Africa those types of diseases have been on the rise as well. So it does put pressure not just on the healthcare system but on individuals as well, and that leads to them not being able to support their families because they're off sick because of the different types of illnesses that they might have.
So it's important for us to try and solve that problem, be part of the solution.
The challenge with the sugar tax is that it focuses just on one specific food type, and in order to manage obesity in South Africa, you need to have a holistic view where you're not just focusing on sugar, but you're focusing on the entire food and beverage scope. People are living more sedentary lifestyles where there's a lot more TV watching and video game playing, especially in kids.
If we're all going to sit in front of telly all day and watch TV, it doesn't matter what you eat. You're going to put on weight and we're going to have a problem.
But if you look at adults, we have desk-bound jobs, we're spending a lot of time behind our desk. Physical activity can play a very important role where you need to exercise a little bit, and it doesn't have to be very sustained, prolonged exercise. It can be short bursts of exercise, walking to the next door neighbor, walking around your shopping mall. But also people need to look at what they're consuming. Where we're taking in a lot more calories. We've seen an increase of foods such as sauces, as sweet and savory snacks, as chicken, as fats and oil, so all of that contributes to weight gain.
Government announced this tax of a substantial tax.
So we know that with taxes, it has an impact economically in terms of not just individuals, but families as well, that might also lead to job losses.
We all know from the government's point of view, one job loss is one too many.
From my side, I employ 3 guys, and I also obviously rely from the sales that I make from our shop. Mainly the products that I sell, mostly it's Coca-Cola. So I rely on Coke for profit in order to be able to pay my staff and to be able to do things for myself and for my family.
And sometimes half their business are soft drinks. If there's tax applied to that, prices go up, volumes fall. There's, I think, 8,000 to 10,000 shops that'll close, and certainly then 15,000 to 20,000 jobs that'll be at risk of that.
If all of that is implemented, then I honestly don't see how any of us are going to survive.
So we want to be part of that solution. And as a system, we simply have to. And the system very quickly, back to the wall, came together on the 8th of July.
What I found positive is that we have included a broad range of stakeholders, including government, the unions, health advocates, our employees and academics. People's tastes and preferences are changing, and we're not fighting it. We are changing too. We are focusing on becoming a total beverage company, and we have embarked on that journey through a number of initiatives. For example, we are building our water, juice, and tea category. We're also introducing smaller and more convenient packs. We are rethinking our recipes through fairly aggressive reformulation.
And this will really take us into the realms of much lower sugar content in just about all of our products.
You need to have beverages that are low in kilojoules, beverages that have no kilojoules.
Consumers have got fantastic choice today versus what they had in the old days. Life, Coke Zero, Waters. Our portfolio is substantially larger than it was a few years ago.
And we are looking for other sugar alternatives, for example, for our ingredients.
So I think we came together fast, had a joint system approach to this, and when you're jointly on the same page with the same common goal, the company, Coca-Cola Company, and the bottlers have been as one. They've acted as one, and with one single-minded obsession, which is delay and reduce and take down the tax to zero. And we're still exactly of that mind.
I believe this approach has allowed us to be able to craft a win-win solution for South Africa. And going forward, I believe we will continue to welcome the opportunity for further engagement and hope to achieve results that will not just cost jobs, but address obesity and accelerate growth for our industry.
So we're about zero taxes. We're halfway there, but a long, long way to go. And there's many things, there's now time to maneuver, many things we can do to wind up with self-regulation of our industry and zero taxes. So that game is on.
I believe this is our time and our moment together as a Coke system. We have a unique opportunity to shape and grow the business and create a relevant, lasting and vibrant Africa business for the next 130 years and beyond.
As many of you know, on February 22, 2017, Minister of Finance Pravin Gordhan announced further consultations will be needed and that the implementation of the sugar tax would be delayed. The revised proposal introduces a threshold of 4 grams of sugar per 100 milliliters, with a slightly lower tax rate, effectively halving the potential tax burden. This is in itself a massive win for the system, the industry, and the South African economy. We have met 2 of our objectives to delay and reduce the tax. However, our fight is not yet over to fully reverse this punishingly regressive tax. Independently of the ultimate outcome, the system is now fast-tracking plans to reduce sugar in our products, increase consumption of zero-sugar products, and introduce smaller pack size solutions. These are no-regret moves, which commenced before the tax was announced. They make economic sense and will impact society positively. The system also needs to become more transparent and fact-based on the kilojoules the industry contributes and the progress it makes in reducing sugar consumption. In fact, the system is committed to leading the way for the food and beverage industry as a whole. If we are to be successful in reversing the obesity epidemic, we need to help governments become more scientific in their approach. For example, the Department of Health needs to study total dietary intake of its citizens. Treasury needs proper socioeconomic impact assessment of taxes, such as the sugar tax. Industry needs to provide transparent reporting of total calorific consumption and reductions. Fighting the sugar tax became the single most important intervention with the formation of CCBA and the system realignment in Southern and East Africa. We anticipate that this will be an ongoing battle for years to come, given the ballooning obesity crisis, the increasingly well-organized and well-funded pro-tax lobby groups, and the dire fiscal needs of many, if not all, governments where we operate. As a company and as a system, we believe it is never too late to do the right thing. But the later it is, the more it costs. The plight of obesity and increasing regulatory risks are all part of our VUCA world. A world immersed in volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Developing strong relationships at all levels of government and across key departments is a must. Furthermore, we also need well-researched points of view. Fortunately, the system is a very capable one, and there's simply no alternative but for us to unite around our challenges and work and lead as one. In this context, even in countries where there's no immediate risk of sugar tax, the Coca-Cola system needs to gear itself up as if it is imminent, both in terms of offering solutions up front and engaging stakeholders on issues around obesity. It is, after all, humanity's silent killer.